Howdy everyone, and welcome back to the Luna Geeks Out channel. Today we are checking out The Spirit Lives On by LOVEBITES. Very excited about this. It has been about 10 months, I think, since we last checked out LOVEBITES here on the channel. And of course, this backlog of new releases has put some... there caused some issues with getting to a lot of the tracks that have been requested, a lot of which are some LOVEBITES songs, but I'm very glad to be back. This is just such a fun band to listen to. I actually listened to one of their songs the first time in a couple months, a couple days ago, and it's like, oh man, I forgot how dang good they are. So this one should be fantastic. So, without further ado, let's hop into it. So you've already got that, just sort of classic guitar sound and everything. That's great. A little bit of melodic stuff in there going, you know, that like a lot of movement in it. That's real nice. That was cool there. There's some good vocals in this one so far. Voice doesn't always work for me, but it's working here. Good riff. A little bit of something in the background there, that's cool. Oh, this is a nice little spot right here. That's better. Must be a something. Oh, nice vocals there. Oh, great vocals here. Great vocals there. Getting a little higher on this one, which is nice. This could be vibes to something. What am I thinking of? Again, just great riff in the background. And there's some, I don't know what instrument it is, but something in the background there that's making a cool little sound. I love this bit right here. What does this song make me think of? I have no idea. There's something out there. Oh, cool guitar there. I'm liking that. A little weird, but it's good. Oh, continue with that sort of idea, but do a little bit more with it. Nice, nice. Alright, it's already working now. Yeah, that's real cool. Not the best guitar solo I've heard from them. Honestly, probably one of the weaker guitar solos I've heard from them, but I do like it. It's an interesting idea that I think is being executed well. There's just some kind of, like, organ or something there for a second. I think that is nice. Again, reminding me of something, and I cannot grab it. Oh, great vocals here. great guitar there. So, again, I think building off a little bit of what was going on with the solo, but changing it up a little bit. Nice, nice. Yeah, there's a little bit of like an organ in the back, I think. Really cool, really cool. Oh, and pick up with the bass a little bit there. Nice. Feel like it's a little too low in the mix, unfortunately, but it's solid. Cool little guitar sound there. Real cool. Okay. Alright, cool little shift there at the end. Nice, nice, yeah. This one, not quite on the level of some of the ones I've heard from them. Not really any big surprises, didn't blow me away or anything, but definitely some good stuff, as was expected, of course. Oh, Lyrical Analysis time. This one actually caught me off guard. A lot of the lyrics I've heard from them in the past have been fun, but it's just been like just some basic fantasy kind of stuff, generally with some other ideas thrown in, but generally it's just some fun fantasy nonsense, if you will. There's not a lot to grab from it, but man, it sure is a good time. Honestly, very representative of their music. May not be the greatest stuff, may not be the most complex stuff, but it's just a good time. And I've said this before, sometimes that's all you need for music. But I was quite pleasantly surprised with the lyrics in this track that there's actually some solid stuff in here. So, starting off, verse 1 is a little weird. Verse 1 is one of the things that complicates this, where I can't quite grab what this song is getting at. But there's some ideas in here I like. The main point I want to grab out of this is this third line that I'm kind of building the other stuff off of. Everything summarized into an empty word like peace. And so what I'm seeing with that is you've got the earnest ones are the ones to make a fool of themselves. Sort of this idea that these people, they're going and they're believing this thing and they're pushing for it, but no one else is kind of doing the same thing, so they end up making a fool of themselves. And then doing things for others is always losing gain. That idea, perhaps, that, living, but not really letting yourself, I don't want to say, like, live for yourself, because that can come across as a bit too self-centered, but I think just trying to please others and to appease others, it is sort of a failure, if you will, and then that everything summarized into an empty word like peace, that idea that you focused so much on peace that it, we kind of lose meaning, lose focus, rather, on what matters. The word kind of becomes meaningless in a sense, and then that's the world you and I are living in. Just sort of setting the picture for this, right? Setting the stage for this, that, this sort of peace has been created, but it's a peace perhaps without freedom, something like that. You'll have to forgive the slightly, what's the word I'm looking for? Every dang time I try to make a thought, something goes away. You'll have to forgive the slightly incoherent ramblings with that section, as that was me putting all these loose little thoughts I had together, like fully together for the first time, and I was making that up as I went along. I got the stuff in the back of my mind out, but it was a bit weird for a second there. That's sort of the idea I'm getting here at the beginning, that we're living with this peace again, but it's something that we lose sight of what matters through it, perhaps. It's something that becomes meaningless, and something that perhaps we need to sort of push back against this idea a little bit, right? So a quick interjection here while editing this. I came up with, I suppose, another interpretation of that second line of, appeasing others or serving others being a losing game. Perhaps that idea that it's in a world where that idea of sort of perhaps the greater good and helping others has been cast aside, and then that ties to the idea that peace is a meaningless word, that perhaps peace is something that is not strived for. I could really see the argument going either way with this, but this was something that came into my mind while editing the video, so I had to come in and toss this idea into it. But I'll get back to the actual main video now. And then the pre-chorus, how much more regrets for me to go beyond, on other side, the ones on the edge of life and death, as long as feeling is strong enough, each of a step will lead us to a future. That, to me, ties back, the second half of that ties back to that first line. Earnest ones are the ones to make a fool of themselves. The idea that, as long as we feel strongly enough about this, as long as we sort of stick with this goal we have and everything like that, we're gonna keep moving towards this future, keep moving towards this eventual goal. And I think the first section, how do I want to phrase that? Now, honestly, I don't know what to say on the first section. The second section, the second half of that, I think has some good stuff in it. The first section, well, I think it has some good stuff in it. I'm not quite sure how to grab that stuff, if that makes any sense. So, for this one, just to really save my sanity, we're going to be skipping past that section for this video. The chorus, stand, this is not the end, scared of dreaming, scared of tomorrow, you are more than what you think, stand, this is not the end, we're all making our way together, heading straight away to greatest ending. For me, that's this sort of call to arms and call to action, right? It's this idea that no more living in this sort of meaningless peace. We're going to stand up, we're going to fight for the future, fight for what's right, we're going to achieve this goal. Don't be scared of this. Don't be scared of fulfilling your dreams. Don't be scared of what there is in the future. The line, this is not the end. Us pushing for this goal isn't going to be the end of things. We're going to achieve something with this. And that final line, heading straight away to greatest ending, we are going to achieve greatness through doing this. But really bringing in a bit of fantasy again, which is quite nice. Verse 2, what's the difference from believing and doubting, is a great start there. Sort of what separates us from the others. What, where is the line between these things? That sort of a comparison, a duality, that kind of thing. Feeling betrayed by your selfish perfection. Believing is to give in all of the things that lays inside. Is to fight the weakness that's inside of you. Feeling betrayed by your selfish perfection, again, is a little hard for me to grab. I think there are ideas there that are like, don't just do this for yourself, in a sense. Something along those lines. But also, I think sort of a sense of self-preservation kicking in as well. Now that I'm saying this stuff and thinking about it and vocalizing it, I do think there's a bit of that in there. This idea that it's self-preservation. You're scared of changing things. You're scared of failing. So it's that selfish sense of like, just stick with this. This is normal. This is safe. So think that, and then believing is to give in all of the things that lays inside. It's to fight the weakness that's inside of you. Just look, this idea of like, look, just, this is important, believe in this, keep working for this, you're going to be able to do this, don't listen to that sort of nagging voice inside, that self-doubt, that kind of thing. And then ties back into that first bit, difference from believing and doubting. Alright, so great start to this pre-chorus. What's a life worth if your heart can't feel? Just, I think, again, ties back a bit to that beginning section, but just a question of, like, what meaning is there, what value is there if, we can't have sort of this freedom, this individuality, perhaps, but if we can't feel, if we can't experience things, and we can't believe in something. Freezing sadness and burning soul fighting till the end, I think, is that idea of going back to, in verse 2, believing and doubting, that, the freezing sadness being that desire to just stop fighting, to give up, and the burning soul being, trying to actually keep going. The cold trying to stop the fire trying to melt the cold, that kind of thing. And then, as long as you're by my side, things that you need is all in your heart, since that, together we can fight this, together we can win this. And again, that thing that, like, the strength is inside of you. Perhaps it could be a bit hard to see, but the strength to do this is inside of you. So, some good stuff there. And then the bridge, what do we live for? What do I need? What do we stand for? Why do we get lost? Why do we go on? When do we find the way? Just sort of a bit of that doubt creeping in, the questions we ask ourselves during hard times, during struggles, why is this worth it? And it's just asking those questions, getting them out there. Verse 3 goes back, is that verse 1 again? That's the pre-chorus again, isn't it? I wonder if that's mislabeled. We've already talked about that section. It's how much more, how much more regrets for me to go beyond all of that. We've already talked about that. Might be mislabeled here on Genius. That's pre-chorus, not verse, I believe. But yeah, there's no other lines in there. In general, I think this is just an idea of, fighting back against sort of just against your struggles, and really something illustrated in the title. The spirit lives on. That throughout all of this, what's inside of you, your strength, your spirit, as it says there, it does continue. It is still there. It can be hard to see it, but it is still there. You have to remember that you can keep going, you can keep fighting. So just some good motivational metal music. You love to hear it. Not necessarily a lot to dive into with this one. There's like all these super cool little connections and meanings and stuff, but just some good stuff in here, right? And I rambled on about this one for a decent while, but this may not be the deepest song by any means, but it is some particularly good stuff, especially when compared with some of the past Love Bites lyrics I've checked out that just haven't really done much for me. I quite liked this one. But that is it for the lyrical analysis section. So let's hop into talking about the music. Starting off with the vocals, definitely some of the better vocals I've heard from. I should have looked this up before the video. I'm going to look her name up real quick because it is gone from my mind. Or Asami, I don't know why that was gone. That is one of the names that I'm normally actually good at remembering, but okay then. She has a super cool voice, right? She got a star in, I forget what genre it was, but it was very much not metal, and a genre that her voice really fits well in. And so coming into metal, it's a very different vocal style that she has compared to what you kind of normally would expect from metal. And it's something that, for me, doesn't always work. Thunder Vengeance is an example of that. That's a song that just didn't quite do it for me. I think things are just a little short of the mark with that. But like, it's very hit or miss, but like, when it hits right, it hits incredibly hard. And it hit right in this song. Fantastic vocals. Like I said, she's got a really unique voice. I don't know what word to use here, but there's just some, like, texture to her voice. I don't know what word to use to describe it. But she's got such a cool sound. Like, she's got a bit of a deeper voice, which is quite nice. And this song brought in some highs, which was really cool. Loved that. So great vocals in here. Loved the chorus. Might be one of my favorite choruses I've heard from them. Pre-chorus is pretty good. Verses were fine. Nothing too much to say on those. But all in all, fantastic vocals in here. Guitar. Oh, I loved the guitar. It didn't hit quite as hard as some of their other stuff. I thought the solo was a little weak, but it brought in some really interesting stuff. There's some cool ideas in the solo, so I enjoyed those. I enjoyed what they were going for there. It wasn't my favorite, but I was like, once I figured out what they were doing and sort of heard some different twists on it and everything throughout, that I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. And that's about how I feel about it. We had some good riffs in this, good melodic stuff as well. Nothing too much to say on the guitar, but it was just some good stuff. I mean, insanely talented guitars, so that was, as expected, really good. The bass, unfortunately, not too noticeable. They just got a new bassist, Fami, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. She's been around in the music scene for a decent while now, but I've never actually heard any of her stuff before, so I can't speak too much on her skill. I think I mentioned this in the reaction. I picked up on the bass towards the end. It was alright. It was a little too low in the mix for me to really notice it. Hopefully when you get to one of the music videos from them that is on... What? Okay then, hopefully once we get to one of the music videos, or actually I think it's just one music video, but hopefully once we get to that, I'll actually get a bit of a better understanding of sort of, who she is as a bassist, her skill, and, the sort of the sound she's bringing and everything. The bass, what I heard was nice, it had a good feel, but it was a bit too low in the mix, really, just for my tastes, right? And then the drums did not stand out to me as much as they have in the past from Lovebites, but they were quite nice in this. Haruna, again, hope I'm pronouncing that right, is a fantastic drummer. This song, I wasn't paying as much attention to the drums. Some other stuff really stole the show, if you will, but what I heard was nice. Just good beat to it, a little bit of extra flourishes and everything, so it was some good stuff, just did not stand out to me as much as it has in the past. But overall, this was a good song. This is a good song. It was just some fairly straightforward power metal, sure. You didn't bring anything perhaps new to the table. There weren't any big surprises in here. You know, there's been some Lovebite songs where it's like Thunder Vengeance, to talk about this one again. Brought in a bit of a thrash sound. Didn't really work for me, but that's super cool, super cool. They've had some that have brought in, like, just sort of that, like, classic heavy metal kind of sound. They've had sort of just, like, just some cool, like, sort of slight neoclassical elements or whatever. So, you know, you get some good variety with them. This one, just a fairly straightforward power metal song. So it didn't have anything that was like, whoa, I can't believe they brought that in. Nothing like that. But it was like, high quality stuff, good time. I'm straight into my music mix, of course. I think this is honestly really representative of what I've heard from Lovebites so far. It's some stuff that, you know, not always the most surprising, not always the craziest, not always the greatest, but always enjoyable, even if it may have some flaws. So this song, yeah, pretty dang good. I cannot wait to check out the other singles we have off of the album to check out. There's 3 more, I believe. And then, of course, if there's any other songs on the album that y'all want me to check out, then comment them down below, and I will get them on the list to hopefully get to them one day. Glad to be back to checking out some Lovebites. It was been far too long, and this one, you know, like I said, may not have blown me away as much, may not have, it may have been as surprising, but man, it sure was a reminder of why I enjoy checking this band out so much, because it's just always such a blast. But I don't really have anything more to say on the music, so y'all know the drill. It is time to select the next reaction. I'm trying to think, like, again, I've had most times I've had something I'm in the mood for, and I don't know what I want. Get out of here, advertisement. So anyways, let's give it a spin and see what we get. Do I want pop? Do I want something really heavy? You know, what's the vibe? We'll see what it gives me. Wagamama Rakia again. Okay, that is, is that... It's either Jinx or Gravity Game. I think it's Gravity Game, but I'm not sure. Did not expect to get to them so soon, would not have chosen to get to them so soon, but no complaints about that. Wagamama Rakia, great stuff, loved checking them out last time, so very, very happy about that, very happy about that. That's, should be a good time all in all. But that is going to do it for the reaction, so thank y'all for watching. Be sure to like if you liked, subscribe if you want to see more, and comment down below with your own thoughts of the track, any feedback or criticism, or anything you want me to react to. In the description, link to these songs. You can check it out, support the artist. Link to my Lovebites videos playlist, my Japanese music reactions playlist, and my rock and metal reactions playlist. So you can check out some similar content from me. And then links to my Discord server, Instagram, Twitter, Spotify playlist of all the songs I've reacted to, at least the ones up on Spotify, and my link tree, which has all my other stuff in it, in case any of that interests y'all. Anyways, like I said, that's going to do it. So once again, thank y'all for watching, and until next time, I'll be seeing ya.